Island Tea time, 8:05. Good morning to you, St. Kitts. We are Island Tea. Candy, what's up?
Good morning. The heat. How are you?
I'm okay.
All right. So our first guest is already here. Are you able to go let them in while I do my
We have
positivity?
our first guest is here?
Yes, we have a packed morning and our first guest is already here.
Okay.
All right. Oh my goodness. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Good morning and welcome to Island Tea. If you have been paying attention, if you've seen our social media, we have a very packed day today. We have Dr. Terrence Martin on at 8:15. And then we have the St. Kitts Robotics Association. We have the Department of Constituency Empowerment. And then we have our regularly slated Fireproof. So stay tuned. It's going to be quite an interesting morning. Before we get into all of that, I just wanted to leave one thought with you. I know usually I do these quotes and these motivational little tidbits, but this morning, my only thought that I want to leave with you is, what's the best that could happen? You know, you wake up and you think about all the stuff that you have to do and all the stuff that's happening. I know we had the shooting incident last night, and the list goes on. All of the negative, depressing, stressful thoughts. But have you ever thought, what's the best that could happen? What is the best thing that could actually happen today, tomorrow, this weekend? So let's keep that in mind. Every time something negative pops up into your head, think, what's the best that could happen? Given everything that's happening around you and all the circumstances and everything that you probably can't control, what's the best thing that could happen? All right. And on another note, it's beginning to get hot again. I see the National Hurricane Center says that we could get a tropical depression next week. So as early as next week, there could be a tropical depression. And I know the last time we had a tropical depression, it branched off and it turned into one of the first named storms for the hurricane season. And it ended up hitting Texas. I think it was Arlene. And it went to Texas. So, yeah, let's see what this one turns into. And I guess best thoughts, hang in there. What's the best that can happen? All right, then. In other news, we see that not only is St. Kitts gearing up for CARICOM Day and the whole OECS celebration, I saw one of our ambassadors going throughout the schools. I actually saw snippets of him visiting schools and just, I guess, educating the children, letting them, you know, become more aware of what the OECS is all about. And they've been encouraging us to wear our OECS colors. So on, let's see what day that is, June 16th, it's going to be Colors Day. And they are inviting you to wear your colors, take out a picture, and upload it with the hashtag OECS Day and post it. Yes. So Jamster is having a Jamster's morning. Sorry about that, guys. There's no need for the silence. We're just working out some issues on our end.
Yeah,
Anyways,
just some housekeeping.
Back to regularly scheduled program.
Just some housekeeping.
Welcome back, Jamster.
Our doorbell isn't working, so I have to go outside to let people in. Blah 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 blah. So
Yada.
I'm back. Yeah. Okay.
So let me tell you what you missed while you were housekeeping. PCS Day, CARICOM Day. There's a tropical depression that we're expecting next week. Yeah, that's why it's so hot.
Next week? Wow.
Yeah, as early as next week.
Maybe he's coming to see Burna Boy. I don't know.
Oh, for the love. Next, he better just, pass on or fizzle out into foam or whatever.
It's not good that Burna Boy has a name that evokes heat. That's not, that's not good when it comes to
Do you really want to hear my comment on that? Because, yeah, he performs without his shirt on. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. You enjoy that, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
He has abs and pecs and everything.
Just like I enjoy beach volleyball, female only.
You should have warned me. I had coffee in my mouth. What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with me? I'm a man. I know it's offensive to be a man these days.
Who said that?
I'm just joking.
I'm not even touching that question with you.
I'm joking, but I'm not joking.
Leave Burna Boy alone. We have enough people fighting him down. I happen to like his music.
No,
I like his beats.
It's meant as a joke, a good-natured joke. No.
I don't know if everybody will take it that way. But yeah, hopefully that fizzles out because we have quite a number of things coming up next week. There's the thing that Marcia advertised yesterday.
The stuff on Fourth Street, right?
Yeah, music festival.
4th Street Rush? Music Festival Rush. Yeah, something like that.
There's Escape that's happening on the 21st.
Escape, what's that?
Escape is one of the first events that they're going to have
fringe
for
events.
Music Festival, yeah.
You see what happened?
It's going to be held at Royal St. Kitts.
When I did the Spin Cycle Music Festival edition last week, they sent me
a list of all the fringe events?
Yeah, but it was only, I thought the flyer was going to have on all the fringe events, but they only had the first one, which was at Green Valley last week.
Oh, really?
So I don't even know what, they didn't send anything yesterday, so.
So if anyone from the Music Festival office is listening, can you guys send us an updated list of the fringe events so that we can assist in promoting?
And it would be nice if you could send some of those handbills with the, with the artists per night and stuff, so that we have one to hand and, one of the fringe activities would help. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm. So there's quite a number of things happening next week, so we definitely need this depression to fizzle out and die. Sorry to put it that bluntly.
No,
that's exactly what I want
we need
to
it to die. That's one of the things I liked about Colin Powell, right? When during the Gulf War, he was very blunt about what they were doing in Iraq. I always remember one time they asked him a question and he said, "Well, we are going to accost the Iraqi army and kill it." Those were his words.
That's what he said?
Yes, I always remember that. He's
obviously creating an impression in you because look at you remembering it.
He's very. I like precise language. I like language with a spine.
I see.
Don't skirt the issues. Talk. Be direct.
Yes, just get it out. There has been another incident with CXC. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw it yesterday.
I was telling my staff yesterday. The first reports were that they stole 2, not 1, 2 fireproof cabinets. Have you ever
I saw that.
messed around a fireproof cabinet? It's
Those
heavy.
things are heavy. Yeah.
They stole 2 of them in Jamaica with all the CXC papers. 9 subjects.
Oh my God!
I don't even understand what's going on with this generation at this point.
That's an inside
I don't
job,
remember this
probably,
even
right?
being a thing when I was in school.
Yeah.
Or any of my sisters for that matter.
Usually when we would hear about those things, it was always like Trinidad or something.
Oh no, Jamaica's leading the charge. Because the leak happened in Jamaica and now they stole these 2 cabinets.
There has to be an
but
inside
CXC
job.
says that they're going to continue as scheduled. So that should be interesting. I can already hear the complaints coming out after. For persons who don't pass, they're like, "Oh, it wasn't right. It wasn't fair. They had this leak." Da 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 da. So yeah. Interesting.
Actually, there was a story yesterday. Well, actually, you ever notice sometimes you see stories, right? And then you're like, "Well, another news org reported that like a year ago, a month ago," and then here you have another news organization
bringing it up to the fore,
as though it's new. They're talking about something similar in China, where there are these companies in China that basically cheat so that Chinese students can get into American colleges.
Oh my!
So they pay off. They basically bribe the admissions people at the universities. And I read it. There was a New York Times article on this back in like 2019. Even before that, I've seen. This isn't the first article I've seen about that. Where
I'm not even surprised at this point.
Yeah, and so basically similar type stuff, and Now that they're now trying to root it out because so you can have basically your whole admission staff, you could say compromised.
I don't know what's going on with Jamaica recently.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the U.S. now.
The U.S.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, you said Jamaica. But the thing is, a lot of these universities are so profit driven. I mean, imagine you're a school. We're not saying obviously. We're not saying that you shouldn't care about spending money judiciously and so on, right? Or even making a little profit. But they are so profit driven now that the Chinese money is hard to ignore, and it's hard for people to keep their noses clean with the kind of money that's being thrown around to get Chinese students into college.
You said it.
You heard about that story? You heard about the story with the Chinese guy from, I think it's LA he's from? Who is suing, I'm trying to remember which school it was. He's suing to get affirmative action overturned because he's saying that the reason he can't get into a college, he has an extremely high GPA, is because of black people.
Oh my.
And then the article goes on to break down all the statistics. And the statistics show that all the schools that he went to, the only school that the highest level of black students is like 7%. It's like 3%.
Exactly.
4%.
Nobody told him. Huh?
Yeah, and then all the other people are higher, but black, we're the problem.
Nobody told him.
Yeah.
Poor unfortunate person.
Okay, so it's 8:16. We have our money matters segment coming up.
So you're gonna take a break and let us get him in all settled.
TGIF.
Amen.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere.
Why prepare a disaster plan? The Caribbean is vulnerable to the effects of many hazards. We're directly in the path of hurricanes, earthquakes, and tsunamis. Many of us live with volcanoes at our back doors. This doesn't mean that we should live in constant fear, nor does it mean we should be too relaxed. Instead, we should prepare ourselves so that when disaster does strike, we will reduce the damage it can do to us. For more information, contact NEMA at 466-5100.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody beware, you better prepare. Music's finest artists converge in Bastia from June 22nd to June 24th for the 25th hosting of the St. Kitts Music Festival. Hitting the festival main stage will be Skillibeng, Chronix, Coffee, Byron Messiah, Anthony B, Governor, Romaine Virgo, TJ, Valiant.
Them boy don't got no body.
Grand Masters, Collision Band, Small X Band, New Vibes Band International, Mr. Bagdal, Akai You Sweet, Pretty, Guess the Band, Ricardo Drew, Patrice Roberts, Skinny Fabulous, Nyla Blackman, Status. Erica Edwards, 313 Family, Gramps Morgan, Nitra B, Ear Supply, Dexter Daps, and Burner Boy. It's the 25th edition of the St. Kitts Music Festival from June 22nd to June 24th at Warner Park. An experience like no other. Tickets are now available at stkittsmusicfestival.com.
My jam.
Hey, it's 90 minutes after 8 o'clock, and we have got a finance guru in studio. He's going to introduce himself. He's on the A-list of finance people.
Well, would you look at that? Good morning.
Good morning.
And
good morning,
welcome
good morning.
to Island Tea. So,
Thank you for having me. It's way too early.
it's not. You should have gotten some coffee or tea. I'll hook you up the next time. Tell us why you're here. Well, introduce yourself to my listening and viewing audience and tell us why you're here.
Well, my name is Dr. Terrence Martin, son of the soil. I was recently approached by WINNFM to restart the Money Matters show. It just so happened that I'm on island at the same time, so I figured, why not run the first few episodes in person and then see where it goes from there.
Sounds good.
Okay, then, Dr. Terrence Martin. It's weird that I have to say that. I have known you forever.
You have known me for a minute, yeah.
So, Money Matters.
I don't like the name.
Oh,
but other than
no.
not
But it
liking the
does.
name,
It's
could be-
fitting.
It could be played two ways, right? So money matters.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, money does matter. Money matters, money issues, and
So,
issues
yeah.
surrounding
Yeah.
money. So I guess
See,
it's
so it
cool.
works.
Maybe I
It
might
does.
change my thought
It
process
does
on the name.
work.
Yeah.
So tell us
Get
why
closer to the mic.
why money matters. Give us a little bit about your background. How did you get into this?
I credit all that to my grandmother. Not much formal education, but she was an entrepreneur in her own right. She sold in the local market. She sold on behalf of other individuals as well, earning herself a commission. But in the community and church, she was involved in savings, encouraging saving amongst young people. So the reality of it is that I resisted this part of it, the working with people part. Like I wanted to be on Wall Street. My thought, I was supposed to be a millionaire by 30. I chose
Should
this
we tell
route
them
of
how old
poverty
you are
in
now?
working with people. But I credit it all to my
I like
grandmother.
this
And
guy.
since then, I have focused on working with low-income individuals, even wealthy individuals. I had my own wealth management firm for a minute. And now I'm a full-time professor and director and other positions that
Wow,
you mentioned.
full-time professor.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Which means I only teach 5 hours a week.
So where,
I feel like
where-
you're rubbing this in.
what school are you teaching at?
So I'm currently at Winston-Salem State University.
Oh, okay.
One of
North
the,
Carolina, right?
Yeah. Only been there less than
You
a
have a
year,
fan.
actually. But it's been cool. It's been different. My first HBCU, I went to all predominantly white institutions. Initially started my career at a Hispanic 7 institution. Spent 4 years in Utah, which sounds like the start of a bad joke. But
Yes. yes.
Black man spending 4 years in Utah.
Yes,
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
It was
So
not that bad. I
eventually-
am pretty sure.
Eventually gave up the comedic set and then moved to HBCU. Yeah.
Oh
Now I'm
my
working with-
goodness.
This is the first time I've taught so many black students at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah. So and
Interesting.
that dynamic is always nice.
Yeah.
Because I know when I was in college and most times we never had more than 4 black people in the class.
Oh yeah. I think
And sometimes I was the only one.
for the
it's not-
first 8 years of my career as a professor, I taught 3 black students.
Wow.
So now I'm at a
goodness.
school of all black students. It's very different.
I was just about to ask you what's the difference in terms
I don't
of
wanna
not
say on
only
air. I wanna
oh
keep
my
my
goodness. Oh god. No. Okay, so class size,
Well, it's a smaller school.
reception,
Yeah, I think affinity matters when you see a black person, that have made it, quote unquote. It sends a signal to you that you could also make it, especially me being foreign, right?
Right.
My accent ain't gone away. I've lived in the States almost 20 years and I still sound very much like a Kittian, I hope.
especially
I hope.
when you're relaxed.
Especially when I'm relaxed, when I don't have to do the spokes in and speaks in.
So tell us what plans you have for this show. What are you going to bring to us? What are
you
some of the
know-
things you want to highlight?
Well, I want to general topics, right? So, like for example, the first show, one of the things I really want to talk about is psychology of money. Why should we even talk about money? Money is still taboo in 2023.
Imagine that.
And second show is like just normal budgeting and savings. But just to give you an idea of the outline, talking about things like it's like broken down into segments, right? So maybe kickstart with some facts, right, around the topic. Then go into a deeper dive discussion, not too deep. A listener's lounge. Hopefully there's a call-in experience as well. If people have questions, I'm happy to answer. Some tips, some success stories, and just a general wrap-up and introduction to next topic. So this should be like a weekly show. We'll
Right.
see how it goes. and all
What do you
that.
think? So just to start off, what do you think our approach to money is like here in St. Kitts, and why this show could be helpful?
My general thought is, and just engaging with the public, is that there's a need for financial education. not just financial literacy, but also financial coaching. Unfortunately, in some cases, regulatory requirements negate the ability of offering some of these services. I would love to open a company here. The licenses alone means that I would have to charge an exorbitant amount of money to the average person that could benefit from this advice, and that makes it just cost prohibitive.
Right.
But just general conversations, right? I think there was a global study on financial literacy and our ability to answer some basic questions. One, we weren't pooled, but if we were to look at like Jamaica and Haiti as a comparison, I think Haiti ranked like 131st in the world with financial education. I was made to understand there's a company out of Trinidad, which is just annoying, that the ECCB went to measure financial literacy when they have me
Right.
and my
So,
team. They went to a company in Trinidad, and this is my area of expertise. Like, I work with the people that actually develop these skills, but that's just a sign of our
we're set to change it because I know, for instance, you just did a whole thing with the Grenadian government.
Yeah. So the Grenadian government reached out to me, did a consulting opportunity for them back in April over this whole bi-monthly check thing that's also happening here, which
Right.
it's crazy. A foreign government reaching out to me, but my own government.
You have
Terrence,
money matters. We will fix that.
Don't get me started on
We
this,
will
all
fix
right?
that. No,
Do not get
don't
me
start
started
him
on
up.
this.
We'll fix that. So,
It's ridiculous.
the Grenadian government engaged you
Yeah.
to do.
So I worked with their civil service. We had some online sessions a couple times, and I went there. Then I expanded it because for me, it had to go beyond government workers because
Right.
the impact is going to be felt across households, right? So I went into schools, I talked to pensioners, I talked to small business owners, and the like. And now, like, I even had like these fireside chats, right, where they
Very
would just
nice.
randomly ask questions. Yeah, I'm awesome. And just randomly ask questions, and it was really great engagement. So I thought maybe a little regional news article, I would get a call from my own people. No such thing.
But do you know,
small steps, we'll
but-
fix it.
but you know,
maybe it's because
recently-
they didn't know that you
Oh,
were
they're
available
very
for that
much
type
aware.
of stuff.
They're very much aware.
But you know, recently I've been having this conversation about like my premises. We hired a tourism technocrat from Bahamas to run the National Tourism Authority, right? So I was saying, well, I mean, finance is the preeminent pillar of government, right? So I said, Mr. Drew needs to get a finance technocrat to be his junior minister.
I agree with that.
Right? Thank you.
I would agree
Thank
with
you.
that. I think
you.
we needed that.
So I noticed,
thank
like, when
you.
you were, speaking about what you did in Grenada recently, you said they're now introducing, well, they recently
done it.
introduced
It
the
started
two
April
salaries
15.
type
Yeah.
thing that we just did.
The bi-monthly. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Because we just introduced
Well,
ours.
owing to the fact that I'm yet to have my proposal answered, I don't know how
To-
deep I could go.
to
But the
this-
reality
to
is,
our government?
yeah, I sent in a proposal, the same proposal I sent to Grenada,
Oh, wow.
but they just said yes because they saw value. Anyway, so look, the bi-monthly thing, it's not bad. The reality is, if you're not salaried, you're paid either weekly, bi-weekly, or something like that. The problem is that we don't talk about money, which is the point of my first show. So now if you have somebody that's salaried that's working for government, then you'll need to come and have a conversation with their partner that might not be working for government and also weekly, and then have that open conversation on how we're going to talk about things, right? Now, beyond that, too, we have so many financial institutions that I would assume by now there would have been general consultations with these financial institutions, basically relaying that, hey, if somebody is now paying you, let's say, the first of the month, well, they might need a little bit of break on their due date just because the salary is going to be broken up, so they're not going to get, say for example, you make $2,000, well, $4,000, $5,000 a month net, right? That's your take home. Your mortgage is $2,500, right? You're not gonna pay your full mortgage on that first paycheck. That's gonna leave you dry for 2 weeks, all right? So we're hoping that, well, I would hope that the government and whoever they hired would have, had these consultations
Right.
with financial institutions to make sure people have the flexibility they need
Right.
to make this. Because the government is the largest employer, right?
Yes.
Like what,
yes.
3,000 people?
Yeah,
if
we
not
did touch
more?
on that yesterday because I remember seeing someone send out a post saying, oh my God, what's going to happen to my mortgage? All doom and gloom. But there are ways around it. You can go and speak to the financial institution. Those institutions would have already been briefed, we're hoping, like you just said, that this is now the new pay schedule. So split my payments up. So you'll get like half of it, this on this date, and then the other half. And, by the end of the
actually-
month, it's fully paid and that type of thing.
Financially, economically, that's better, right? If you understand time value of money, you understand that frequent payment will help to reduce the total interest over the life of the loan and also the number of years, right? So just by moving from a once a month payment to a twice a month payment could probably knock off somewhere between 5 to 7 years, depending on the loan structure, yeah? So more of that. Actually, I would encourage people to pay weekly. Break your mortgage up into 4. The banks will really hate you then.
But you'll get it done.
You'll get it done. You'll save a lot of money on interest. You'll finish it faster, and it would be better overall, right? Because we don't have
Awesome.
an incentive here to have a mortgage forever because there's no tax benefit for a mortgage.
Perfect. So we're all ready for your first show. When is your first show? Tell
don't
us,
know.
tell the audience.
I'm assuming Monday?
It's Monday.
Is it Monday?
Isn't it?
Monday at 10?
Yes, sir. You see,
Monday at
listen,
10.
have some coffee because you are definitely being grouchy.
I'm not grouchy. It's just too early.
Well,
in the
tell us
morning.
when is your first show
I-
and invite the audience to tune
My
in.
first show is on Monday at 10 on 98.9 Win FM.
On Monday.
Yes.
On Monday. I think it's this Monday. I mean, I can't hang out much on Sunday. So I'm not sure.
Monday at 10.
Monday,
I
as soon as
think.
Island Tea is over. Is
Yeah.
it?
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, so I welcome all of you to tune in as we revamp Money Matters here at Win FM. I'll be hosting it. I'll be in studio for the first 4 or 5 shows, and then we'll work miracles with technology.
We'll be
as
sure
I
to get you some coffee.
go
I'll
back.
bring you some coffee Monday.
It depends. I only use Cafe Brit out of Costa Rica.
Oh, that. yes.
Don't
Yeah,
bring
yeah.
no Folgers up in
I
here.
don't drink Folgers.
Okay,
And
good.
just because you said that, no coffee. Goodbye. Have a good one today.
Thanks for having me.
Man has good taste in coffee.
I don't
You
like
know
this
about
whole
Cafe Brit,
relationship
right,
that's happening
Jamster?
here.
I hope-
Azard,
I hope you're my producer.
Azard, I
And
need you.
Folgers.
So
Yeah,
Azard
I'm
is
my
gonna
producer.
be
Perfect.
out of studio for a few days, and I miss you already, Azard. I have another
You don't miss
jamster
him
on my
that
hand,
much. You have
and
me here
it
with
is
you.
not working.
You have me here with you. Look at our
Folgers,
chemistry.
Folgers is like the Toyota
Oh, and-
Corolla of coffee. Come on.
And
my
happy
goodness.
happy Father's Day this weekend to all the deserving
Same
fathers.
to
We don't
you.
get the recognition that we deserve. So I want to take the opportunity to wish everybody a happy Father's Day.
Awesome. Thank
And
you for
same to
coming
you.
in today.
Okay.
See you on
We'll
Monday.
see you on Monday. Yeah. Okay.
Cut the camera straight. I want to get it.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Give your car some TLC with CNC Auto Services Limited, located on the Bay Road Industrial Park, Bastille. We're your local agents for genuine Honda parts. Plus, we've got some sweet deals happening right now on suspension and brake parts, ignition coils, coolants, oils, and filters with tires priced at $188. We've also got car batteries at the crazy low price of $345. So don't wait until your car is in dire need. Stop at CNC Auto Services and Honda today. Telephone 465-9317. For some speedy service and some unbeatable prices, your ride will thank you.
Be a music festival VIP with Skellig. From May 15th to June 16th, clear your bill or make a payment of $500 or more on your arrears and stand a chance to win a VIP entry to the St. Kitts Music Festival. Skellig is giving away 2 VIP tickets for each night. In addition, one ultimate winner will win transportation to the festival and a Pamper Me package of up to $200, which can include hair, makeup, massage, manicure, or a pedicure. Drawing will be held on June 19th. Customers should not be in arrears for more than 3 months. Terms and conditions apply. Skellig, powering the community.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere.
Comprehensive disaster management is about every one of us being ready to manage any natural or man-made event like hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis, fires, oil spills, or volcanoes. It's about having your home or business prepared with an emergency plan as applied. It's prevention. Keeping your home, business, or community well maintained and safe. It's about being able to get your life back on track after the event. Will you be ready? Visit NEMA.kn or log on to NEMA SKN on Facebook.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody beware.
8:35, and so look forward.
See, you made a new friend.
Look forward to Money Matters on Monday.
Hey. I'm not going to say why you guys are bonding, because I already know what it is. I'm not going to say it on air.
What? Tell me afterwards. Tell me afterwards.
So you're looking forward to Money Matters.
Why is it the curmudgeonly thing?
You said it.
I knew you would think I'm not a curmudgeon. I'm just
not at all.
No, I'm not.
But I've known him forever, so it doesn't have any effect on me at all. But you are very happy you finally got somebody to It's gonna be an interesting show.
Snark Central.
Yes.
Snarkasm.
Oh my
I made up my
goodness.
own words.
Well,
Anyway.
yeah, I like it though.
Yeah.
We'll work with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
so we have another. Where's the
Robotics?
other guys? They're running a bit late.
Yeah.
Oh. Hope it doesn't mess up anything
I
else.
thought robots were supposed to be logical.
Robots were supposed to already be up the steps.
Yeah, I know.
I think they're having a summer camp, so I'm told that is what they're going to be here promoting. Their summer camp. I'm not sure if they've done this before. I've been in. Do I want to say contact? I've been a friend of the association for quite some time now. I met Dr. Ricardo Drew years ago, and we've maintained a pretty decent relationship.
Somebody's got soak on the brain.
And
She
so
said
I
Dr.
try
Ricardo
to keep. What is it? That's his
Ricardo
name.
Drew.
Is it Neil?
Neil.
Oh gosh.
Somebody's got soak on the drain on the brain.
Let me take some.
That's
more
fine,
coffee.
though. That's fine. That's fine.
When he gets in here,
At least you have taste.
It's gonna kill me. It's kind of hot too. So I try to keep track with some of the things that they're doing. I recently collaborated with them when they did the STEM / STEAM thing at they had a capstone graduation type thing at Marriott a few weeks ago, and we did some decor for them. So I'm interested in this whole summer camp thing that they're going to be promoting. Not sure if it's the first, like I said, but I guess we'll find out soon enough. I heard you saying this soca on the brain thing. I was like, who's he talking about? I didn't even realize I said Drew.
Yeah, that happened. That's normal. And but actually first when you said Ricardo Drew, you know what I heard first? I heard Terrence Drew first.
Oh Lord.
And then I said, no, she said Ricardo Drew.
What are you drinking this morning? My excuse is coffee and lack of sleep.
No coffee today.
Tea?
Green tea, moringa, mint. Yeah.
It's crazy blend over there, but I guess it works.
I should be drinking moringa more. I think that's only this first time for the week. I think I had some on Sunday or Saturday.
Have you tried the flowers yet?
I eat them.
Yes.
Yeah.
In salads or just like that?
Just like that. But I should. Oh, you tried it in the salad?
I never have time. I just pop them and eat them.
I should.
Pluck them and eat them.
I should try the salad thing because some people
bitter, spicy, but so effective.
They're not. They're
like it depends. Like if it gets to the back of your tongue, you get like a kick of bitterness. But
it's sort of like a slightly bitter arugula kind of.
Yes, it reminds
vibe.
me of arugula, and that's probably why I like it. I really like arugula.
So I guess we can talk about some news until these people show up. It's Friday. So, Sunday is Father's Day, and I wonder what I wonder what some of these people. It would be nice if some callers can call us and tell us what they're planning to do for their dads on the weekend.
I know they usually do, like, they make a big deal of Mother's Day, and then fathers complain every year that it's downplayed. It's it's single mothers take that day to lash out and say, oh, I'm the father and the mother, blah, blah, blah. But it would be good indeed to find out what activities, other than church, because I know the churches will definitely be doing something. What other activities are happening for Father's Day?
Yeah.
I know you said you'll still be cooking, so there isn't anything major planned that you are aware of. Maybe they'll surprise you.
They probably will.
I definitely need to have a conversation with your wife.
Yeah, I was just.
I haven't seen her in forever.
I was just saving Money Matters so that newsroom can have it. So yeah, like always, this is a very multitasky job. So folks, sometimes if you don't hear me, it's not because I'm pouting or anything. I'm just maybe doing something.
Fiddling
else.
with the equipment.
Yeah. I'm doing something else while still paying attention to them. So it's yeah. So I just saved that. Okay, so what else?
Good that you can multitask. It's a good thing.
But I think it annoys my wife sometimes because no, I'll tell you why. This kind of job is something where multitasking comes with the job, and your brain creates the neural pathways to accommodate the things you need to do on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
So, for example, I mean, I can carry on 2 conversations at once, and that drives her crazy. For example, I might be on the phone, but I'm telling her something as well. She's like, "Why can't you?" I said no. Or she might think I'm doing something, and she might think I'm not listening to her. I said, "No, I'm listening to you."
Yeah.
I said, "No, I'm listening to you." It comes.
You have to learn to compartmentalize.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. My sister goes nuts with that because she's in front of me. She's having a convo, and I am not looking. I am busy doing God knows whatever, and then I go, yeah, okay. She's like, "You're not listening. You're not even looking at me." I am. I'm just compartmentalizing. I'm doing 2 things at once, multitasking.
And the great Dr. Neil has joined us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I was wondering where the signature shades were. How are you doing? Welcome to Island Tea. So you got to put on that. And my audience has been waiting. I tried to introduce the camp. So go ahead, introduce yourself, and then we'll dive right in.
So I want to thank WIN FM for having me. We're a regular visitor here.
And also, you had your first show in a while this week. Was it this week?
Yes, we had. It was. Yeah. I think it's twice now. Yeah.
Oh, twice. Yeah.
Yeah, and Naeem was here, so which was good. You know, Naeem is the one who started out in the early stage.
Right.
So he's like the father.
Naeem, that's the Indian guy.
No, Naeem Richardson. When you listen to the opening for the show, the person who is singing. That's him.
Oh, the rapper.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Okay. That's where I know him from.
Yeah, so that's it. So yeah. Yes. So I want to thank WIN FM for having me. I'm Dr. Ricardo Neal. I'm the founder of the Robotics Association, the mentor for the robotics team, among other things.
I can tell. You're busy.
Yes.
So tell us why you're here today.
Okay, so it is great news. We're having a federal robotics camp. We have 110 spots. The camp is going to focus on, coding, engineering, building robots, teamwork, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It doesn't mean that you have to have the knowledge. Once you have the interest, you just come along. All right. And so we are happy to have that. The high schools would have received the registration form. So if you're interested, just go to any one of the high schools and they will give you the form. So it starts the 3rd of July to the 28th, Monday to Friday. All right, we will be at the ICCS auditorium. They have a huge auditorium. So that's where we are going to be for St. Kitts. And for Nevis, we will be at the disaster department. They have a very nice department. Together.
Wow.
Yes, so it's a huge camp.
Oh my goodness.
So we'll have trainers in Nevis and trainers in St. Kitts. Right.
Oh.
So we're thankful for ECCB to come on board. So ECCB is one of our biggest supporter,
Awesome.
from ever since. So I want to take the time out to say thanks to the governor and his team for supporting the association in terms of understanding the vision that we have to train the young people in the area.
Very progressive dude, that the governor, the central bank governor.
Yes,
I've
yes.
said that from the beginning.
Is there a specific
he's
age group?
he's very supportive of innovation, and so we like that. As a matter of fact, the governor was at our launch when the Robotics Association launched for the very first time. So he was the guest speaker, right? And he emphasized how important it is for us to have this kind of development here, within the OECS region, as a matter of fact.
Right.
And so I wasn't surprised when ECCB reached out to us and said, hey, you guys want to have a camp? We're like, yeah.
Love it.
Like, yeah, let's go. And so,
Definitely.
so we organized a team, and then the team is doing the planning process now. But we're on for the 3rd of July.
How many persons are on your team? And more importantly, the age group of persons that can attend the
Right.
camp.
So the age group, we're looking from 13 to 18, right? So we have that as the age group. So once you're interested and you're in the age group, apply. It is going to be a fun camp. It's going to be awesome. I'm telling you, you don't have to have the knowledge for building. Just come as you are.
Listen,
as they say in church, come as you are.
Listen, I know this much about all the inner workings, but
Yeah.
I'm one of your biggest fans.
Right,
I
right.
turn up, I show up.
Yes, which is awesome. Awesome.
The only thing I can relate to, vaguely, is the coding. As my
Yeah,
sister does
coding. Okay, yeah.
And so she's always in this coding zone. So because of that, I think that's what drew me to your association, because I felt like it was a way to get an in and just to be able to relate to what she's doing, what she's studying. So I'm definitely proud of you guys. I was just telling them about the capstone thing that you guys had a few weeks back.
Yeah, you want to take a call?
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. There were 2 calls, so hopefully at least one will call back.
Well,
Yeah, so,
here.
and you guys, I think you guys were on, I think I heard you guys on another station. Was it earlier this week?
You were on
Talking
a few
about the
stations.
camp.
Yes, you were on earlier. But the capstone project that you mentioned is actually a project that was started in 2015, I believe. The intention for that program is to allow the CFBC students who are doing IT to present to the private sector, right? And so I felt that was a good direction for the program, because now the same persons who are going to employ you, they're at an event with you, seeing you present. So for them, it's like a, quote unquote, interview happening.
Yes.
So once they're finished and they're ready to, go out, it's easier for them to, have the relationship with the private sector companies, given that they were there before.
Right. Are you using any of those students at the camp?
As a matter of fact, almost all of those students, they are part of the association.
So this is the first camp,
Yeah,
right?
this is the first camp we're having of this nature. I think this is the first federal robotics camp in St. Kitts and Nevis,
Lovely.
the first one. So we've never had anything of this, magnitude where we stretch between St. Kitts and Nevis.
Right.
And what I'm proud of is that this year we have put in place a coordinator in Nevis. So SKNRA now has a coordinator in Nevis, and her job is to ensure that she takes care of the SKNRA wing in Nevis. So I don't hear it's only for St. Kitts.
Yes. That's what I was wondering. Like, how big is your team?
Our executive team, we have 16 executives, directors, and members-wise, we have close to 300, members in the association. So the team is very large. The board is made up of five persons. So those 5 persons meet almost every week to discuss plans and what we need to do and so forth. So the team is rather large.
My goodness. I don't know where you find time for anything else.
It's a lot of work,
happy.
but once you delegate, then it makes it a bit easier.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a growing thing, and we're actually excited about it, because when we started out first, it was just 3 of us. And I said that every time. Because when you look back, when we traveled in 2017 to represent St. Kitts and Nevis, just as a team, it was just Xavier Shaw, Jermila Henry, Jervik, Lapsley, and myself. So it was just 4 of us. And that was the first time. And now, from that time until now, we have grown to this extent. So we're actually we love the fact that the idea was won over by the private sector, because a number of private sector agencies and government agencies support the cause, because we do understand that if we get the young people in line with technology, especially here in St. Kitts and Nevis, we can become a hub.
Right.
Whereas St. Kitts and Nevis could be the tech hub, but we have to start, somewhere.
Yes.
And so I'm not the type who sit around and just complain. Just get it done. Just do it. Just do it. Just shoot for the star and just,
Yeah,
see what happens.
and you're molding them from a very young age.
Right,
so
from a young
I'm
age.
definitely impressed with
As a
that.
matter of fact, speaking about young age, we have plans to bring on, training for the younger group. So that's coming soon.
I love
that's,
it.
Yeah, that's coming soon. So we're working at that one.
My goodness,
Um,
I love it.
Candy, the Robotics Association, I may have mentioned, I talk about the how well volleyball, Special Olympics, all these St. Kitts Nevis teams do overseas. And this was another example of St. Kitts Nevis doing extremely well in a field that people don't expect.
I know that
Right.
for a fact.
Expect,
Like I tell you, I keep in touch with
Yeah.
Dr. Neil, so I know that for a fact.
I mean, when I heard of the countries that they were beat, I'm like, really?
Oh yes.
Yeah, their
It's a regular
first,
thing.
their debut at
Debut.
at the World Robotics
Olympics, yes.
Olympics was impressive.
Let's take this call. Oh my God.
Blown away.
I was trying to get this call. Okay, caller, you can call again, 466-0989, 662-0989, or 762-0989. You got to squeeze in at least one or two calls.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why we actually formed the Robotics Association.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, go ahead. Island to you're on.
My name is Mifana. But yeah, put on the same man there. Will he be an army man?
Jump,
army man?
it's the prank call thingy. Yeah.
Me there not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. So
You were saying?
Yeah, one of the reasons why we formed the Robotics Association is because when you look at when we travel with a team, right? We only can take with us probably 5 or sometimes 8. So when we were in Dubai in 2019, we took about 8, students from around St. Kitts and Nevis. And then when we came back, a number of students across the island, and even young people in general, they wanted to be a part of this thing. And we said to ourselves, well, the only way we can get them a part of this thing is if we form this group. And that is why we have this group now, right? And so the young people now have the opportunity to see and to get a hint and to also get a chance to use the equipment that we use. And that is one of the major thing about this camp. The same equipment that we use to build the robots, to code the robots, to program them, they're very expensive, right?
Imagine.
They are going to be at the camp. So each camp will be receiving robotics kit with the same international parts that is used at the Robotics Olympics, for them to get familiar with it, for them to be creative and build whatever but they want to build based on a theme. So that is the whole idea. So they get in first-hand experience
exactly
of what happens internationally.
And tell us again, what are some of the things that you're doing? You're doing coding.
Right, so they'll be doing coding, they'll be doing engineering, so they'll be building, they'll be doing some arts, so they'll be designing. They'll be involved in teamwork, so we'll be emphasizing teamwork, that's very, very important. The camp surrounds acceptance of everyone.
Love it.
So it doesn't matter what creed, what religion, what group you are, right? The camp is for you, right? We also want to emphasize that during the camp, they'll be having social media, tests. So they have to post what is happening like every week. They'll be doing that. So social media will be flooded with what is happening every week at the camp. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm gonna stay tuned. Might pop in every now and then just to get an update.
Of course.
And it's gonna be at ICCS. And what
Yes,
time does it start
ICCS
daily?
auditorium. Oh yes, I must say that the camp is free. 100% free. All right, it's free. So you're not paying anything. You don't have to pay any little fee for this. No, right?
Is lunch provided?
We are working on lunch for everyone.
Okay.
Working on
So
lunch
this
for
is a
everyone.
perfect time to get a
Right.
sponsor for lunch.
Right,
Hint,
so
hint.
that would be good. We have reached out to a few sponsors, so we're waiting. But if a sponsor out there want us jump in, fine. Absolutely no problem. But the camp is free because parents would have met me on the street and they said, Dr. Neil, is the camp? How much money is for the camp? Because I want my child to go.
Yeah.
And I said the camp is free. And I said, are you sure? I said, yes, it's free.
Yeah,
It's free.
I'm happy though because
Yeah.
this is where the world is going. This is what we're
Right,
moving
right,
into
right.
with all this AI, chat,
Yeah,
GPT,
yeah, right, yes.
all of that.
Yes.
So we need this.
We need this. That
So
is true.
for you guys that are listening, you have children, they're gonna be home. Let them stay out of trouble. Send them to the robotics camp.
Yes, let them come to the robotics camp. Let them experience what we experience when we travel overseas.
Awesome. And what time does this start again?
It's going to start at 9.
9
right?
daily.
The 3rd of July. 9
In my
daily.
mind, okay, before we wrap, in my mind, I would think a natural progression to robotics would be those people who write. I saw the technical term last week, but I can't remember. The people who write prompts for the AIs.
Okay, for chat.
To get them to do things.
Okay,
What is that something you plan to add as a program?
As a
going
matter
forward?
of fact, in 2018, we actually wrote an AI, right? And we presented at Marriott's at the capstone event in 2018. So if you should go back to the archives, you will actually see we presenting an AI, and the AI was used to host the program. So what we did, we looked on the idea of becoming a bit more innovative. So instead of having somebody hosting the program, which normally when you attend an event, you have somebody who hosts the program, we decided we're going to use an AI to do it. So the AI would say, well, it's time for the national anthem, it's time for this speaker, the next speaker is coming up. So we did that, and it was so cool, it was so awesome. So we were ahead of the curve, right?
Yes.
So when ChatGPT came out, we weren't surprised. And when Microsoft came out with theirs and the different companies came out with theirs, we weren't surprised.
So is this part of your teaching material now? Like,
Of course, of course. We'll be introducing them to it and as a part of the training. So it will come out as we go.
I'm totally excited. This is not even my world, but I'm totally excited because I'm just so happy that you guys are ready and raring to mold young minds and bring them into this. So there's no way we can get left behind at this rate. And you're setting them up for something bigger.
Right.
So I'm definitely excited. I wish you guys best of luck.
Thank you.
I will be popping in to get updates.
Of course. We will make the doors open for WINNFM for sure.
Awesome. Perfect. So it's 9 daily. It begins July 3rd.
And we're going all the way to the 28th.
Wow.
And it's going to be Monday to Friday. In terms of for persons who live like in the country areas, don't worry, we will provide transportation for you.
Oh my, you guys
so
have
if
thought of
yes,
everything.
that's what I'm saying, it's free, right? So if you're living in the country area, we would have already had conversation with the Ministry of Education, and so once you are interested and you're all the way in the country, do not say it's a town thing. No, don't worry, right? Just let us know. Go to your closest high school, let them know that you're interested, and we will come there. All right. As a matter of fact, today I'll be moving around, so I'll be at some of the high schools.
Collecting
today.
those forms,
Right.
organizing.
Right.
So it's through the school mainly.
Right, through the schools mainly.
And
right?
then, of course, if they want to get, so the schools will then hand those forms to you.
Right,
And
then we contact.
Right.
Yeah, the various in persons. So
Okay.
yes.
Perfect sense.
Okay,
Awesome.
Doc, time to kick you out.
All right. I'm sad,
goodness.
but don't worry, I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
Of course,
Definitely
of
will be
course,
back,
of course.
I
Yes,
am
yes.
looking forward to seeing what you guys create from the
Oh,
camp.
yes.
I'm obsessed with the 3D printer.
Oh,
I
yes,
love to
yeah.
see that in action. So
Yeah. I was
Yeah, we
wondering.
do
So
we do
so
have
you
3D printing. So we actually have
Are
a
they
research
expensive?
project. Not
Not
anymore.
as-
Not
okay,
anymore. So
okay.
you can get some really cheap ones.
Yeah, I was
No.
surprised to hear that they had 3D printers.
Yeah, we
I
have
was
two
like, wow.
actually.
Yes,
Two,
I
an
Yeah.
told you,
industrial one.
I'm
and
up with that. Man.
I know.
what's happening.
Okay. Chill out.
I'm jealous. we can
do
pop
that.
over and see
Of
what
course.
they're
Yeah,
It's right
okay.
next door.
Of course.
Okay.
So we'll pop over when they start the camp.
Okay, Doc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in,
No
guys.
problem. Thank you very
And all the
St.
best with the
Kitts
camp.
Nevis
Robotics
Association
Yes.
Summer Camp beginning 3rd of July at 9. It's at ICCS. get in touch with your children's schools and register them. It's absolutely free. Free.
Free.
Okay,
Awesome.
so
Thank you so much.
you're
Doc.
right.
All right, thank you.
1 minute until 9 o'clock. We
Have a good
have
one today.
we have a team from Constituency Empowerment. They're coming up next, and they're going to be discussing their celebration of World Environment Month and more. Stay tuned.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
On Sunday, 25th June, from 3 p.m., journey to the Mediterranean when Carambola Beach Club presents White Sands Grecian Fantasy. Party with the hottest DJs, New Level Sounds, and DJ Terror out of St. Kitts and Nevis, DJ Don Hot of Miami, DJ Ryan Saeed out of Trinidad, and Chromatic Sound out of Jamaica. Turn the party up with high energy performances from our very own Ruckus HE and Davidos. None of them can party like De jour. The Nigerian African beat superstar Feels. If I broke, now my business. Out of Trinidad, dancehall's finest, Prince Swanee.
She says she have a man, me have a girl too.
And be ready for the hard fet with Bunchy Garland. I never come here for no stand up. I come to party with my hand up. Hosted by Barry Hype. Tickets are just $100 or pay $120 at the door. For tickets, visit www.carambolabeachclub.com. Remember, White Sands is an all-white affair. So, on Sunday, 25th June, bring the vibes to live out your fantasy at Carambola Beach Club, Grecian style.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
It's 2 minutes after 9 o'clock. Island Tea continues. We've got a team from the Department of Constituency Empowerment. We've got Devin Stanley, he's the support officer. Director Colencia Divine and Allende Osmond, he's also a support officer, and they're celebrating World Environment Month.
All right.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My studio is full this morning, so I'm going to let you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves. Well, yeah, I know you, but still. Right? My listening and viewing audience, and then tell us why you're here. So take it away.
Hi, good morning. I'm in the Azard.
Yeah.
Hi, good morning. I'm in the Azard support officer from Constituency Empowerment, East Bastille.
Morning. Again, I am Everson Stanley, support officer from Constituency number 4, Challengers area from Challengers to Guinea.
And I am Colencia Divine, the director, and I'm so excited to be here with these amazing guys who are going to be sharing with you what we've been up to, some of our findings, and how we plan to celebrate World Environment Month.
All right, then. So who's going first? World Environment Month. And I can't help but notice your T-shirts. I was checking it out. The logo is pretty intricate. So tell us, what are the plans? Who's going first?
Okay, for World Environmental Day, we have been going through a phase of observation for the past 2.5 to 3 months. And we have found that there are some environmental issues throughout our communities in the Federation.
Why am I not surprised? Come forward.
Oh, sorry about that. So we're here to highlight some of the issues that we have been facing throughout the communities in the Federation. Some of our findings was like illegal dumping, poor waste management, improper kept lots, derelict vehicles, causing congestion to traffic flow in and around the communities, maybe on the project roads, some on the main roads. So we are just here to highlight and let the general public know that we see the issues that they are facing, and we're here to bring awareness to the general public about these situations.
Well, you had me at derelict vehicles and unkept lots, so let's talk. So you guys noticed that you've been observing. What's the plan? Or when are we getting rid of them? Who is moving them?
Well, the plan has 4 parts. The celebration is going to happen in 4 phases. The first one is we're engaging our stakeholders in a series of dialogues, right? Because we've observed these things, but we are not the ones in charge. So we're taking the concerns of the constituents to the horse's mouth. So we're meeting with the Ministry of Environment, the Department of Public Works, Statistics, NEMA, Solid Waste, bringing the concerns of the citizens to them. The second part Ayande can tell you about is our media tour.
All right, so come this way because you're not on camera. So tell us about this media tour now. Well, I'm guessing, are we the first?
You are not. We were.
Tell us.
Second on our media tour, but we have some pop-ups in the community that we'll do to share information. We've been going out and meeting the public. We're actually going into our engagement stage. We are gonna do a introduce a volunteering act so we can get the community more involved. Because if we go and clean it, then the community gonna dirty it again. So we're gonna give them ownership, bring them into it so they can help and feel the awareness of what they're doing. Because most of the time you put out something, somebody come and take it up, you do it again. But if you have to clean it yourself, it'll bring awareness. So we're looking for some volunteers. We're partnering with different people. So we're going to get you a volunteer card so you can volunteer to help us clean.
Oh, okay? Yeah. Yeah, because if I'm going out there and cleaning, you please believe I'm going to be on their back. Hey, I just cleaned that area. You better go and move that. Yeah.
That's the general idea.
Exactly. I like it. So when are you guys looking at starting, or that is like all...
Well, for the month of July, we are focusing on our media tour and our dialogues so that we can be informed. The pop-ups we're hoping will be on the 27th and the 29th, building on the Hype of Music Festival and the flow of people. And then our volunteer drive will begin thereafter. We're hoping that through our dialogues and media tour and the pop-ups that we'll get that momentum building and we'll continue to expand. We have partnered with the Chip In organization and we're hoping to get some exposure from there as well. I wanted to piggyback on something that Ayande said. One of our thrusts at the department is to get the community involved and to take ownership. You know, we have this culture where we look outside for assistance and we look to other people to solve our problems. But here at the department, we want to let the citizens know that they have the power to impact their space. They can make a difference. They live in the spaces, right? And through our intervention, we're going to show them how best to go about doing this. Now, we understand that there are mechanisms in place to help them, the different stakeholders I mentioned, Solid Waste, NEMA, Public Works, etc. And so by being that middleman, we hope to empower the citizens and bring about real change with their assistance.
Oh, I love it. And how many persons are on your team?
Well, we have 8 constituencies that comprise of 3 officers. An officer and 2 support officers. So 8 chiefs, 1624, and then the staff in the office. I'm not exactly sure how many staff is in the office, but...
So we're doing it by constituencies?
Yes.
So you guys are all from the same constituency
No,
or different?
we're not. We're from different constituencies.
Which one are you from?
I'm from number 4.
And you are 1?
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, but along with what Ayane says, there's also 2 coordinators along with us, and the deputy and the director herself.
Nice. Yeah. The director seems to have a handle on it, so I'm definitely looking forward for, more things from you guys. I heard you mention a church service. Is it? Did I hear that? I swore I heard you say that. No?
Well,
don't know.
if
where I got
chip
that
in
from.
sounds like church, maybe. But we want to let the public know that in keeping with our findings and Environment Month, there are things that they can do to address the findings that Mr. Stanley would have shared. They can make pledges. We have pledge cards here. We're going to leave one with you.
So I've been told.
And each citizen can decide how they are going to try to change for the betterment of the environment, okay? You can choose to not litter. You can choose to take a stand against illegal dumping. You can choose to recycle. You can choose to dispose of your waste properly. You can choose to become more involved. You can choose to partner with the Ministry of Environment in their No Plastic Bag Mondays and beyond, right? And the Ministry of Constituency Empowerment is seated in the bigger Ministry of Environment and Climate Action, and the goal is to move to a sustainable island state. So we want people to know that your individual behavior is going somewhere, and we are here to help move St. Kitts to a sustainable island state, and your behaviors, your actions, your change in attitude can bring that about, right? And so where environment is concerned, simple things, not littering, speaking out against illegal dumping, changing your behaviors. Right? The type of materials you use, instead of buying a plastic plate, you buy something that's biodegradable. I know there's a lot of talk about the straws, but little acts like those can help and make a big impact. And you can start your pledges as small as that. I'm going to use biodegradable straws. Right? These are I'm going to use I'm not going to use plastic bags on No Plastic Monday. These are the little things that you can do to bring about a change.
So I actually interviewed Mr. Harris. I think it's Kashi. Was that his last name? Was it Harris? He came in on No Plastic Bag Monday, and we had a nice little chit chat. And I tested it. So I went to 3 different supermarkets, and one of them still gave me a bag, and I'm watching them like, are you even supposed to be giving me a bag? But the others were pretty compliant. More so, like I sat outside in my car, and I watched persons coming out with stuff in their hand, and I thought it was like so effective. I was like, I bet you next week when they even remember to walk with your bag, right? And I even purchased some because I didn't have enough. So I thought that was a good start, and I'm happy to see that there's actually more happening. So how does this pledge card work? Because I'm seeing pledge card, but what do? I fill it out, I return it to you, or what is it?
So the pledge card has 2 parts. There's a part that you fill out and you give to us, so we hold you accountable, and then the tiny one is like a fridge magnet, sort of.
My commitment.
Yeah, your commitment that reminds you, and you take that home with you, you keep it in your purse, or you put it on your refrigerator, you just remind yourself that this is what I am pledging to do. But the bigger one we keep, and we'll be calling you, as Ayande said, to partner with us on our volunteer drive and a number of different things that we have coming our way.
Nice. You guys should have brought more. We could have given everybody in studio.
We have more.
So what you said, you guys took 2 to 3 months observing. So what did that entail? How was that done?
Well, we walked through the communities, the different communities that we are from, and we made assessments of the roads, the environment in terms of like the overgrown spaces, the cleanness, of the place, we need cleaning. We took data. It was actually a data taking facility, and then we bring it back to the office, and then we will be distributing it.
Were you guys disguised, or did you have on uniforms?
No, we had our uniform.
We want people to know us. We want people to
You know, I'm only asking because I'm like, well, who was in 2? I didn't see anybody in my area. And I wish you had brought that person there because I'd have grilled them like, I didn't see you in my area. What's happening?
Well, we have a vibrant crew in all our constituencies, but what happens is that most times when people are out at the studio, like now, our workers are in the streets, right? So you may not see us. But
good cover.
But at the same time, it's not a 9-to-5 job, right? So you will be seeing us at home in the afternoons, and as we get out there more, you'll be able to engage. And during the engagement phase that Ayande spoke about, you'll be able to make appointments to see them, small group, come to the office if they need. The engagement phase is going to be more interactive, where we're going to be coming to the people to finding out what does success look like in your community. What does a healthy environment look like for you? And then we're going to, again, go to the stakeholders and try to bring about that reality for you.
Right.
And we want to push that focus that it's about you and what's happening around you in your space.
Right. So where is the office located?
Right now, we're temporarily located at La Grite. We're also located at the Sands. However, the officers are your main contact point. They are in your community.
So you're right here in the Sands?
Yeah, we're here, right next door.
Oh, my.
Right.
Okay, then.
But
My
temporarily,
neighbors.
yes, temporarily we're at the green. Yeah. We will be moving shortly, but plans are not confirmed, but we will be moving shortly.
Awesome. And we have been joined by
Mr. Kishon Jones.
You give him a number.
Mr. Kishon Jones.
And you are go further.
To further elaborate, I am also a support officer of Constituency Empowerment, and
Yes, which constituency? I'm checking to see if it's two. He got nervous right away. I'm sorry.
No problem.
So tell us, what do you do?
Basically, right now we're in the observational phase through the different communities, where we go about and assess the communities and find best ways to deal with the situations at hand, for example, such as littering, illegal dumping.
And what's your constituency? What's your community? Where are you based?
Number 4.
Number 4. So we have 2 number 4s. So y'all should be spotless down there by the time I roll up.
We're getting there. We're getting there, though.
What are some of the ways that you guys think that you can actually bring force to this? I mean, yes, it's a pledge card, it's a commitment, and it's more like you doing it. But if I see someone littering and hey, don't litter, I'm just one person. Do you guys have any enforcement methods in place?
Partnership. We're in partnership with solid waste. We're in partnership with the environment. So we can go to the relevant authority to get it, if we need it ticketed. Yeah. So, for instance, the abandoned vehicles on the road. We go to solid waste, we go to the traffic department. Yeah. So we are the intermediate body.
So these are not things that you guys have actually started doing. Those are the plans,
no,
or you've engaged them.
Well, we're bringing awareness to the public.
We're bringing awareness because we gathered the data.
You know what I mean?
We went out and we gathered the data, so we got all the information. So when we go to the relevant authorities, we present them with facts.
Is there a community that you guys have observed that needs it more than any other? Tell us where the litter bugs live. Go ahead.
Well, what I can say to that is each constituency is different, and one of our strategic priorities is constituency familiarization. So for us, it's not a matter of one being dirtier than the other. It's a case where you find resources and assets, how can we channel them to assist the others? So let's say you have a constituency that has one particular dirty area and everywhere else is clean. We want to get the clean areas on board to help bring the dirty area up. So for us, it's about collaboration and saying it as a whole as opposed to these divided parts. The segmentation into constituencies is mainly for division of labor and getting it done, but it's a country view that we're taking, and we will be channeling resources as well. I love the question you asked about how we're going to get people involved, and I loved the response that Ayande gave in terms of partnership. But our volunteer drive, we will be partnering with you, and one of the things you could be looking for is our collaboration with the Super 6. We're going to be launching a number of projects in the communities where the Super 6 are housed, and the Super 6 brings the money and the people, and we're hoping that we can build on that momentum. So wherever the Super 6 goes, Constituency Empowerment will be there, and we're going to be bringing those people in. And when you get the buy-in of those popular folk, you know, that helps to create and drive momentum and charisma. We're also going to be building out to the different stakeholders. So we're going to be finding our business partners. We're going to be finding our lawyer friends. We're going to be finding our media partners. And we're going to be building on those collaborations to get the message, to get the momentum. And the goal is that we touch every aspect of St. Kitts, and then we just have one big movement.
So I like Super 6.
Let's,
What's Super 6?
Yeah, I was about to ask that. But we have a call. We can address that afterwards. Let's take the call. Island Tea, you're on.
Yes. Good morning, everybody.
Okay, please be brief.
And good morning to the panel. You all sound very good, but wondering to myself how serious are you be? You know, because we hear these things before, you know. We hear, and to be truthful, panel, I don't see the country in general serious with the environment and cleaning up the country. The only man we had was serious when it comes to garbage and the environment was Mr. Bridgewater, Look at this. Look what Solid
Okay. Do you have a question for you have a question for the team?
I come in there.
No, but please, you have to hurry.
I'm just trying to let them know that we have to be serious with where they're saying. Where they're saying is good in Jam stuff. Hey, darling, come and meet Jam down. Come by Cecil Roberts University. Because Jam said them look like they like run us when we come and talk truth, you hear? And when people come talking nonsense, they entertain them. Have a good day.
Same to you. What I would say to anyone who questions our level of seriousness is hold us accountable. Hold us accountable. We have come to you. We've expressed what we're trying to do. Hold us accountable. When you see our officers in the street, engage them. Bring your concerns to us and follow up. We want this kind of interaction. We want to know what's important to you, and we will endeavor to try to make a change. And if we're lagging, we still want to know about that. So let's engage.
I love it.
And
Thank you.
And we welcome that kind of energy, because people like that gives us drives. And if they could come and support and bring other people to support, then we could make this dream a reality.
Well, there you have it, Jam Down. You're now a volunteer. So tell me about the Super 6. What's Super 6?
The Super 6, that's the SKNFA Super 6.
Mm-hmm.
The teams are going to be playing for the finals. So each team that makes it.
So what sport? You gotta
Football,
tell me some more.
SKNFA.
Yeah,
Saying
that
its
doesn't
name-
help me.
saying its name is Football
Awesome.
Association.
So football.
Yeah.
And so whatever the 6 top teams,
The 6 top teams that make it. to
they're
the
on
playoff.
board with you guys.
Yes.
All right.
So we have, we're going to be doing, they're going to bring something, pledge something that they want to do for the community.
Mm-hmm.
So once they make it to the Super 6, they're going to bring whatever pledge they have to us that they want to do for the community, and we're going to get on board with it.
And so they're in the stages of winding up their finals now, so that we can find out how
Yeah,
who
very
the
close.
6 are.
Very close.
What are some of the teams that are in the playoffs?
Well, we can talk maybe about 3 teams already in. We can talk of St. Paul's,
Mm-hmm.
we could talk of Keon, and Village.
Oh my.
For sure, we could talk of those 3. I'm not too
Okay,
sure.
so we're waiting for the other 3.
I'm not saying that the other 3 is not set, but I know I could talk
Those are
about
already like top contenders.
Top contenders, yeah.
Well, to elaborate on what Mr. Osborne is saying, we want to partner with the movers and shakers of the community. We call them the community leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And it's known that footballers have that impact, and they're able to rouse people, right? And we want to be effective. And the football community, they know what's happening. They're the eyes and ears. And so by partnering with them, we stand a better chance of creating impactful projects as opposed to staying in our offices and deciding this is what needs to be done. They can tell us what will be most impactful. And through our partnership with them, they already have the fan base. They already have the network. Partnering with them, we establish that we are here to serve you. We're here to work for you. And once there are people who are willing to get on board, we can, right? And so that's the goal behind that. And we not only want to help the constituents that feed into the Super 6 area, we want to help the Super 6 members themselves. So the projects can be towards the members of the club or towards the wider public. But again, the club will inform what they need based on where they are. Because it's one thing for us, again, to stay afar and decide that this and that needs to be done. It's the next thing to be intricately involved and hear
on
from the
ground,
people
right.
what they need. And we feel that the Super 6 is a vehicle that can get that information to us.
Perfect. Nice. I like the idea. I'm definitely
Yeah,
looking
it's
forward
pretty-
to seeing your handiwork.
It's pretty-
Well, you can
pretty
and I'll be
novel.
there, right?
Yes,
I
and
have my card.
You can start to think about how legally you can help us too, because we are finding a number of issues that relate to the law that we need some clarification on. So if you want to have a workshop with us where we present our findings to you and you advise us, we're open and willing to do
And
that.
our Attorney General is a regular listener of the show, so definitely. Good morning, guys. So yeah, I look forward to this. I think it's something that we definitely need. It drives me nuts, like just driving around and seeing some of the things that are hazardous. Not only in terms of them just being there, but in terms of pests, those derelict vehicles, they may become safe houses for criminal elements. And so those are some of the things that I am happy that you guys are going to be looking into, and, bringing persons out. I feel like it's like a you see something, say something type of thing.
Definitely.
And so do you guys have like contacts how persons can get in touch with you? I know you said where your office is, but, in the event that the persons can't get to the office.
Yeah, there are contacts for Constituency Empowerment. The number is 869-466-3050. Again.
Okay, hold on. Let me write that down because somebody's going to ask me after the show. I already know it. All right. Let's have it.
It's 869-466-3050.
All right. And do you have an email?
Yeah, I have an email.
The email is environment@gov.k.
And we will be out in the various communities from the 27th to the 29th of June doing pop-ups. We have intents in certain communities, so we could come ask you questions. Empowerment officers will be there to get your feedback and give you the necessary information that you do need on these issues that we are facing.
All right, then.
So we'll be out there in the public. So just for the public to feel comfortable enough to come and engage us and have a conversation.
What has the reception been like so far?
It's been good. It's been good. Well, because of the time frame that we've been going out to the communities, we don't meet much people. But the little that we do meet, wouldn't be afraid to engage us and ask certain questions and ask us how have we been doing, what's been going on, and actions further. So it's been real good. It's been real good.
Nice. I am so happy you guys popped in this morning. I mean,
Okay.
we should have been the first stop, but
I want to share before we go because I feel like you guys are trying to get rid of us.
No, he hasn't. Listen, don't ignore him. That's
Okay.
our local Scrooge, but we love him. But he's not yet. You guys have at least another 5 minutes.
Okay, well, I just want to take the time to share some of our future plans that you can be looking forward
Definitely.
to. In addition to the Super 6, we're going to be launching our gut cleanup very soon. Yes, we're going to be in preparation for the hurricane season. No, we're not going to be eroding vegetation. We're not going to be doing that. But the removal of the white goods and those things that wash away and can cause harm, those are the things that we're focusing on. We're also going to be having a green spaces campaign where we're going to be identifying spaces in each community that we can rehabilitate. And by green, we want to let people know that it's not just about vegetation. As I said earlier, we are in the Ministry of Climate Action and Environment, and green can relate to sustainable materials and the right kind of paint and things that won't cause fumage and that sort of thing. So we're going to be rehabilitating spaces, and we're launching our volunteer movement. Okay, so these are the things you can look forward to in our up and coming near future.
Perfect.
Well, I have one suggestion for you guys to pursue before you leave. We need to have our communities, the streets named, and we need to have numbers applied to buildings and lots and everything.
So that sounds like a job for you with the inland
Yeah,
revenue.
I think that's something you guys should look at.
So these guys are going to have to...
No,
one of you jump
no
in.
excuse. Give her the headphones.
Oh my
I want to hear.
goodness.
Give her the headphones.
Look at how quick you handed it over. Like, yeah, I'm not touching this.
One of the things you need to look at in the future is seeing that every street in St. Kitts is named, and every lot and house is and building is numbered.
This is something that we're going to be exploring in our engagement phase, because again, it's not our mandate or what we want to do, sit in our office and decide this street should be called this and this street should be called that, right? The people who live there know the history, they know what's been going on, and they can better inform which street should be called the Mrs. Levine Street.
Oh, right? Most of them have names already, so I'm sorry to burst your bubble.
Exactly, yeah.
Most of them have names already, they just lack signage.
Okay.
Right?
We already did that in our observation.
Yeah.
That was part of
Because
our
how in God's
observation.
name will you be able to find out where you are and where needs the help, right?
Yeah.
So
You
that-
tried using Google Maps here?
Well,
that's a project that we have coming on shortly.
Yes.
And on that note, I want to give a big shout out to the planning unit, Mr. Gary Brown and his team. They actually have a really good mapping database, and they have been partnering with us to help us track our movements, log where we are, and identify the spaces that we're trying to target, right? So shout out to Grammy and Mr. DeCosta and there was one more. Shazan.
Shazan.
Shazan, yes.
Hey,
Shazan. Hi,
Shazan.
Shazan, yes. I want to give them a big shout out. We actually had an island sensitization tour, and they came out with us and showed us how to identify where we were based on the landmarks and that sort of stuff. So
Lovely.
mapping is an integral part of what we're going to be doing, and helping people know where they are will be part of our mandate as well.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect.
Time for me to kick you guys out.
You knew what's coming, right? You have something you
Yeah,
want to
so
say. Go ahead.
in closure, the department wants to encourage our residents to change their environmental impact positively.
Love it.
For their betterment and everyone around them. And we also like to encourage all residents of St. Kitts and Nevis to also make a pledge in order to keep the environment clean.
Thank you. Well said.
That sounds good.
Perfect. So, guys, the Constituency Empowerment Office, and it is Environment
Climate,
World
yeah.
Environment
Environment
Month. Is it month?
Yes,
Month.
month. Yes,
We
month.
would like to make it the whole year if we could.
I know we need it. We definitely need it. People don't understand the repercussions, the ripple effect of
And we have
not tackling it early. So
we have generations coming up, so the best we keep our country clean. It will be better for them.
this
and
is
the-
like
and the
an
next
awesome
generation
speech.
coming.
Yes, yes. Keep it clean. Perfect. Thank you guys for popping in today. I will be looking out for you, and I will drop off my pledge.
I will make sure let the number 2 officers know. Make sure that they see.
Yes, tell them I'm looking for them. I have some culprits in my area.
Wow.
Thank you guys for coming in. Have an awesome day and a good weekend.
Thank
And
you.
happy Father's Day to any fathers that are in here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Do we get our picture
Of
too?
course. I'm already looking for the next person to come take it.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
The real John of them drink Campari. Link up your girl with the Campari. Day or night with your Campari. Mix the pineapple, you can't run party. Campari, respect the bitter. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Yeah. Quench me thirst, I bust that time now. Watch me, I bust and smile now. Boy. Freestyle, free buster, a freestyle. Watch me, I playing full color, meanwhile, whole heap of flavor. Every one of them tries, the drink are refreshing and nice. Me tell you, say, I buster, me buy you with my money. This how everybody drink, I know me one love it. Have it, yeah, for the kids, them daddy harmony. Buster, we playing full color. Correct, I am here.
Is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM. Radio never sounded like this.
Radio never sounded like this, sounded like this.
98.9 Win FM.
Win FM.
Well, it's 9:33. We are awaiting. We are awaiting the start of Fireproof That should be starting at any moment. Yeah. Yeah, so we're getting ready to start Fireproof. Just getting the fireman in place. Tim Martin and so welcome to today's Fireproof. You're gonna have to do Fireproof until 11 because you weren't here last week.
Oh my goodness!
I'm just joking.
He can't even hear you. He says you have to give us 2 hours because you missed last week.
No, I'm just playing. I'm just
She's
playing.
like, what? Yeah, we missed you last week.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
But I told them I'm sure it's that you guys are out fighting fires. So yeah, because we were actually talking about the whole section of the bypass that was burnt out. And we wanted you here so you could give us info, and then somebody actually sent me the info. So but you can fill in, give us from the proper
Because you remember,
angle.
I said I went running and I didn't know. I went again and I was like, how come I didn't notice that?
don't know,
I didn't
'cause it's a
smell
good
anything
patch.
because I was walking on the right side, but for some reason I didn't smell anything. I didn't notice anything.
You were into your jogging.
Yeah, so I was like, well, how come I didn't smell that? Or even, because normally you would smell something. I didn't smell anything.
Somebody that lives in Birdwalk actually sent me the info. She told me it happened on Sunday and all that good stuff. So, yeah.
You got the inside scoop, man.
We definitely missed you.
I miss you guys as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us, what are we talking about today?
Well, we know what season we're in, which is the hurricane season. So just wanted to talk a bit about that. I know that, well, we are not the official voice when it comes to hurricane season. That voice belongs to NEMA. However, it is in our interest as well to highlight some of the things that persons can do to keep safe within the hurricane season. Because if persons don't do what they're supposed to do, then chances are we would end up getting a call that would cause us to go out and try to rescue a life or two.
Oh, yes. Oh, my.
Actually, it's a good thing you brought that up because I was watching the news last night, Candy, with the tornadoes in Texas. And one of the things I noticed, there were a bunch of fires after the tornado.
Yeah.
Passed. I guess maybe gas lines being broken.
Of course.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
So timely.
Wow.
Yep.
My
So,
goodness.
well, officially the hurricane season starts on June the 1st. So we are 6 days, behind of speaking about that. All right, but nonetheless, we will. So yeah, 16 days. Sorry, 16
I was gonna
days
say,
into
I don't
the
know
season.
how
I don't
you
know
back
where
at
my
the 6th of June.
No, we good.
I'm okay. I don't mind going
16.
back a little bit.
We're not gonna hold it against you guys. You're good.
So yeah, but notwithstanding that, is the 1st and to the 30th of November is the hurricane season. Things can develop, between and after as well. So the hurricane season, it normally peaks around like the 10th of September, thereabout. And you could have activities going down into mid-August and October as well. Right? Yeah, heavy activities. So again, we just want to highlight that NEMA is the voice when it comes to hurricane preparedness, etc. But we just want to touch on that slightly. So we are encouraging persons to have an evacuation plan. All right. Yeah. So knowing what to do in when it relates to a hurricane is important. So one of the main things that we would need to seek to know and find out is alternative shelter. So let's say you feel your home might be compromised due to the heavy winds and rains, then it's always best to seek shelter before the hurricane actually reaches us.
Wow. And there are shelters allocated in every community. So.
Yes, so they're located all around. So again, I would encourage the general public to reach out to NEMA, and they wouldn't have the updated list for the shelters where you can go and be safe.
Right. So one of the first steps in creating your evacuation plan is to allocate a shelter.
Shelter.
Right.
Yeah. Then we are encouraging persons to stay indoors. Sometimes people like to venture out, and I can share an experience with you that I had a personal experience now where hurricane was in the air. At the eye of the hurricane, I went outside, and I was a lot younger then. I went outside, and before I joined the workforce, went outside and to roam the streets and so forth. And then, the ice started passing. So it was all clear and everything. And then the tail end swooped in. So, the winds and the rain started to pick up, and so I had to run, go seek shelter and so. And then by the time I got home, part of my roof was gone.
Wow.
Yeah. So my parents and had to struggle. I had a baby at that time. And so my mom and them had to struggle with the baby.
I'm
in
pretty
terms
sure
of
you got a
getting
scolding, because where were you, sir?
I did. I was always the adventurous type, and so, but I learned my lesson from that, to always stay indoors during hurricane time. I mean, the nature of my job now brings me out at times.
See, you got your wish.
The nature of my job brings me out at times. But I just want to share with the general public, as much as possible, you need to stay inside and wait for the all clear to be given by the appropriate authorities.
Do you guys find that you're busy during hurricane season? Just giving assistance, backup, that type of stuff?
Well, most of that, the busyness comes mostly after. With the cleaning up campaign, and so it comes after. Very seldom we might have incidents that brings us out. I remember one time in Nevis, I was working in Nevis at the time, and during hurricanes, you have a bit of flood waters, etc. And a vehicle attempted to drive over some water, or drive through some water.
Which is always insane.
And depending on the force of that water, it pulls vehicle as well. So the vehicle ended up being swept. That was in the Newcastle area. So we had to go and render some assistance to those persons. So it was quite interesting.
Exactly. And I'm always amazed, like, you don't know the depth. You don't know what's in there. Why are you wading in there or even driving in there? I mean, sometimes it probably can't be avoided, but as much as possible, if it can be avoided, do not drive in
Don't
the
drive
water.
through. I mean, even sometimes you're driving on the road and you meet just a puddle of water. Depending on how fast you might be driving, you actually feel the vehicle shift. Yeah. So imagine you have flood waters. The current of that water is just pulling, and then you're driving through that, and then your vehicle loses that traction and just start to slip off the road.
It's always a bad idea.
It's always a bad idea.
Always. Wow. Do you guys do training for this though? Because I know, like, okay, in my head, it's fire service, it's firemen. But then I know you guys render assistance in other aspects when there are accidents, and then you said clean up after hurricane. Is this part of your training? You incorporate that in your training?
Well, regarding the cleanup aspects, it's not necessarily a part of the training, but what we do for firefighting ensures that we know how to deal with, because it's predominantly after a hurricane, the streets are muddy, etc., and we use our hose on a regular basis. So it's just a matter of maneuvering the hose, knowing the particular patterns that the water is going to come through the nozzle in order to make your cleaning of the streets more effective, etc.
Lovely. Okay then, nice. So evacuation plan, seek shelter.
Stay indoors. So some of the things that we feel persons should always have readily available during the hurricane time. For example,
emergency food and water. Right, so that is two essential things that you need, and we would know not to use perishable food. So you would use non-perishable foods that are in tins, etc., that you could easily open, prepare without any a lot of heat source, and then you must need water, drinkable water. So make sure that you stock up on your water so that when you're riding out the storm, you have those things accessible to you. About medication, we have persons who might be diabetic, asthmatic, etc. And once the hurricane is passing, you cannot easily just go to the drugstore and pick up those. So you have to stock up on your medication. Any type of ailments that you have, and you might need additional medication, please do so before the hurricane approaches. So you have a well-stocked medicine chest. Now, when it comes to emergency power, make sure that even though candles are there to be used, we encourage persons not to use candles because with the winds, etc., you run the risk of maybe the candle holder tipping over and starting a fire then. But we encourage persons to have battery-operated flashlights, and have these well charged. In addition to that, have your phones and your any electrical devices, make sure that they're fully charged. So in the event that you have to make an emergency call, your phone is fully juiced in order for you to. What about generators? Generators as well. If you have generators, make sure that they're filled with fuel, so that you could basically run through the storm. Have an additional container with fuel on standby, to replenish when needs to. No, there's specific rules as to placement and operation of those generators? Well, of course, you do not want to keep a generator inside. Some persons, they have the generators inside. What happens, the generator, it gives off carbon monoxide, right? And if you have that circulating in your house, then you may just wake up dead. Wake up dead. But it actually puts you to sleep, and that sleep could become permanent. So better to be safe than sorry. Keep generators on the outside. On the outside. Perfect. And of course the fuel along with it. The fuel would gives up. It's more gasoline. They both smell like crap, so yeah. I don't know why they would want to keep it inside. Gives off fumes. Yeah, I don't like to smell either of the two. So nice. What else? Do you have any more tips for us? Yeah, having a fire extinguisher handy. So we can't leave our fire extinguishers.
What do they run cost wise? I mean, just for some people, because I assume extinguishers. I'm assuming a lot of people who may have thought of it, they just assume, oh, it's probably out of my price range. I know you have small ones, but could you give us a ballpark?
I would much rather be sure. So one day I would seek to get some prices, and I could always share them with you. I'm terrible at the estimating.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
But I don't think it's that costly because you guys promote it all the time and you push it. So if you, you said you don't know the price, but for the persons that are selling it, it shouldn't be that expensive, especially if you want us to keep them on hand and use them. You're promoting it. You can get them at Carib Supply, any hardware store, TDC, Hosford, any hardware store would have them.
Yeah.
Right. Fire extinguishers. We
More
encourage persons.
smoke detectors as well.
Smoke detectors as well, yes. But they would have to probably be battery operated because if the power goes, then you don't have any.
Yeah, battery operated. Yeah, that's what they usually are. Yeah, and they're very annoying.
Listen, you read my mind.
When the batteries go.
Oh yeah, when the batteries is going, it gets a beep sound, beep to let you know that hey, the batteries are running low.
And it is annoying.
It's meant to be
annoying.
I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's meant to be.
All right, so emergency numbers. You want to keep emergency numbers at hand because you never know when you would need to reach out to someone.
Mhm.
So whether it is fire services, NEMA, the police department, the hospital, etc., have emergency numbers to hand. I encourage persons to store emergency numbers in their phones, because chances are in the middle of the night you might not have a phone book next to you, but you would have your phone. Some persons have them under the pillow, etc. But it's always to reach.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you think that perhaps, like say North America and Europe, you think that we should have regulations that stipulate that you must have a smoke detector and or
I'm
fire
happy
extinguisher?
I'm happy that you say that. That is something that we are seeking to get done here in our federation. So we are looking at getting regulations, laws, and so passed to ensure that each resident has a fire extinguisher and a smoke detector.
Smoke detector,
yeah, available at their home.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they're indeed life-saving.
Yeah, because I always thought about it. I know, in North America, it's
a
something that
must
you
that
have to
they
have.
have,
And,
yeah.
Yes, yes.
and I always wondered as a white, for me, I would just make it compulsory.
Yeah.
You know?
So we're seeking to get there. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, sure.
What do you, how do you guys? Music festival is coming. What do you guys do? Is there any particular logistical setup that you guys do for or at the venue for St. Kitts Music
the
Festival?
fire department, we are responsible for safety at the venue. So a part of our operation would be to go out and ensure that the exits and so are
Right, so
appropriate.
you basically check to see if it's
Check to
fireproof.
see, yeah, we will
approved.
check the stage to see that in the event of a fire they would have the extinguishers and so handy to see if the stage might be sound enough in terms of stability, because you don't want something like that to be collapsing, etc. Now another aspect of our job at music festival is making sure that the vendors and them have the appropriate fire extinguishers, so that in the event that they have any cooking done or mishap, fire related wise, that we can deal with that effectively.
So in a venue like Warner Park, where they're going to be having it, based on the sizing, how many exits do you guys propose? Or is, because I know, I'm thinking that you have to go to the venue and pass the venue, so it has to be approved before the stuff occurs. I remember I was in Trinidad for Carnival, and one of the reasons Machel's concert started late is because the fire department did not approve it until they completed all their checks.
Yeah, it's something that we have to do, and we are part of a committee, and we go out and do. We have had site visits and so we're just waiting until certain things finalize, where they actually set up certain tents, etc. So we see how it is laid out, and then we can designate some exits and so. One of the things, sometimes persons they're conducting an event and they have the emergency gates and them locked. Yeah, so we have to tell them, look, this is a violation. You need them to be open. You can place a man there to man the gate, but not to have them locked.
Yes.
We also deal with when in terms of the stands, overcrowding of the stands, because then if everybody just crowd in the stands, then you're gonna have a collapse taking place. So we monitor the amount of persons going into the stands, etc.
Wow.
Okay.
And in terms of highlighting exits.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Wow.
you guys, I know you guys have that small express appliance. So is that you guys have an appliance at the venue?
Well, we're gonna have a vehicle, not necessarily a fire appliance, but we're gonna have a vehicle there to assist us in moving about.
Okay. I always thought it was funny. It's funny, right? I always thought it was funny that That's the word they use.
Appliance?
Appliance for the fire trucks. How is that? Because my uncle, I think I told you, my uncle, Mr. Fall, was the, he used to be fire chief at one time. And I picked up a lot of the lingo, the lingo from him. So I remember, appliance, is that what they call it?
Sir, it's a truck.
Fire appliance.
Yeah, appliance, yeah.
Nice. So you guys have been busy preparing for music festival? Then?
Yes, we have. So yeah, like I said, we have had a couple meetings. Joint meetings with the police, the defense force, and other organizers and stuff like that. In terms of getting this music festival underway, up and off the ground.
Now, about this fire on the bypass, you didn't think I would let you go without stressing you about it.
I thought you forgot.
No, not at all. Yeah, no. It's kind of like an eyesore, but was that something that was...
was it deliberate?
Yeah.
We haven't found any concrete evidence as yet, but the notion is there that it probably was lit by someone. Yeah, so just again appealing to the public, these fires that persons go around lighting, it's a nuisance. It makes the place is already dry, and then when the bushes burn, it makes it unsightly still. So yeah.
How long did it take you guys to put that one out?
In terms of timing, I'm not sure the timing, but it didn't run over into another day.
Okay.
Yeah, it was within the same day.
Perfect.
We got it out. The guys and them, they worked quite well. They did a bit of, as we say, backlighting as well in order to control the rate at which the fire was moving and so on, and also to get it extinguished a lot quicker. Because in certain instances, if we try to attack the fire, the fire truck only holds so much water.
Yeah.
So by the time you go to replenish and come back, then the fire is racing off again.
Okay. Actually, that was my next question. If it was it just one appliance load of water was enough? You had to go and replenish?
You had to do multiple. Yeah. Yeah.
So
they resorted to using other techniques in order to extinguish the fire.
Like what you said, backlighting. What's backlighting?
Yeah.
So here's a question.
Wait, what's backlighting?
Meaning lighting fires, fighting fire with fire, sort of.
Timothy, what's backlighting?
Okay, so
can we have like...
They have a lot of interesting
Candy wants
jargon,
her answer.
From the actual firefighter.
Okay, so... sorry, I forgot to turn down this. All right, so yes. So let's say there's a field, and the wind is predominantly blowing from east to west. Now, for us to try to catch that fire, it might not be practicable. Like I said, by the time we go and we refill the truck to come back, fire is racing again. So what we would do, we would go against the wind. We'll go to the western side of the field, and we would start a fire there, in a controlled area. So we would let that area burn out.
So
and
that
then
sucks out the oxygen from the other?
No,
how does that
not
work?
that I'm getting at. Now, when the fire that is running from east to west comes down and meet the fire that we started on the western end, then the fire would extinguish.
Well, okay,
when the two fires meet, then there's nothing else to burn, so it just burns itself out.
Well, you gonna explain it that way? No.
Here's another question. Should there be, because I was when you talk about the replenishment thing, should there probably be a few hydrants along maybe the because so that then you guys wouldn't have to go
off and come back on.
Yeah. Along the bypass road, I don't think there is any along the bypass road.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So we have some in the industrial site area, some heading down on Wellington Road. So we have to move off from the bypass to get water.
wouldn't have been. Don't they have any up by Sugars in that area there? Like,
Yes,
on the left
actually,
side?
Sugars have one.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, Sugars have one right outside here. So yeah, there is one.
Yeah.
There. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. How practical is it to put some in now that you've noticed that they're not in that area? Like the closest is Sugars. Maybe if the place gets built up some more.
Like they do that solar farm that they said
infrastructure.
they were doing.
Okay. Yeah, maybe when more infrastructure gets in place, and more would be added there. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you realize that would be the rub. Because and I was thinking about the replenishment thing. I said, well, yeah, it probably didn't make sense to put in more hydrants because there wasn't really any
structure.
Any infrastructure down there.
But there is one right by Sugars.
Yeah,
Thanks for that reminder.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. I never saw it, but it just seemed logical that there would be one up there.
Because there's quite a few buildings in that area. We had a fire, a terrible fire in that area. We someone lost a container and boats, etc. and so on.
Wow.
That was the fire hydrant that we used. That you tapped into. Yes, that was the fire hydrant that we used. I've been seeing the truck pass by pretty often. I think at one point I was like, is that Timothy on the truck? So I'm standing outside my office, peering into the truck. One of the guys is looking at me like, what is she looking at?
Very rare you would see me on the truck now, but I do relish the moment to get on the truck.
You miss it.
I like that word. I like the word relish.
Wow, nice.
You
But
sound
you
like
guys have
you sound like Captain Kirk in Star Trek, where he was promoted to admiral, which meant that you can't be on the starship anymore. But he didn't want that. He wanted to be busted back down to captain, so he could be out. He could be out
there
on the
as
Enterprise.
Well.
You would be a Trekkie. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for coming in today. As we said, we missed you last week, but you made up for it. So we got hurricane preparedness tips and tidbits about the fire. And I learned a new word.
Yeah, and he certainly made up. He certainly made up for his delinquency last week.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Absence, delinquency. Well, happy Father's Day when it gets here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Island Tea today. Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers out there. Moms, it's not your turn. Treat the fathers on Sunday. And have an awesome weekend, everybody.
Yeah, happy Father's Day to me.
Didn't I just cover him?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, listen, I'm calling your wife after the show. Happy Father's Day, Jamster. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Hopefully they don't let you in the kitchen.
And Tim, happy Father's Day. You want him to starve?
Are you saying that your wife can't cook?
I don't.
I hope she's listening. I really
am
trying to bait him here.
You said it. I didn't. You said it.
You're in so much trouble right now. Have a good one today, guys. Okay. Bye-bye.
Magnum. Take charge, take charge, take charge, take charge, take charge, take. Everybody put them on.